Hey, let's get your text looking great inside of Unity. We've got our fonts imported into our project. If you open it up, you can see it right here. By default, Unity imports it as just the Unity default fonts. And if you want, you can right-click UI, add a text object, and drag and drop that font directly in. I'm just going to make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. Increase the font size. This is the built-in Unity text. I'm just going to change the color. If you zoom in on this, you're going to see it's really pixelated. That's because Unity is, if you expand this, you can take a look and you can see the texture that Unity is making. So Unity is not actually rendering, in the game, it's not actually rendering the vector information from the text file. It's creating a texture file with an atlas for each character that you're using. And that becomes an issue because that texture is a set resolution, and the more characters that you add, the bigger this texture is going to be. And if you zoom in, it'll be blurry. And to fix that, you can use TextMeshPro. And so to do that, we're going to right-click UI TextMeshPro. So this is a brand new project, and I haven't imported TextMeshPro yet. So you have to click this little button that says Import the Essentials. It's going to import those in. It's going to add a couple custom shaders to your project. And all right, let's get started. So I'm going to hide our old text here, and I'm going to make this text a little bigger as well. And by default, it comes in with this Liberation Sans font asset. And you might notice that you can't just drag and drop the normal text object into TextMeshPro. You have to go up to Window and then TextMeshPro Font Asset Creator. So then we can drag and drop. We have to make a special font asset for TextMeshPro, and so we use this font asset creator to do that. So you just drag and drop your font into here, and honestly, most of the time, just the regular settings, the default settings are fine. So just click Generate Font Asset, and it's going to give you this little preview and a summary, and you might notice it doesn't just render out each character. It does like this weird gradient fall off on each character. And so it's going to use that combined with a special shader to kind of fake making the text as vector. It's really cool. So we're going to click Save, and we're just going to save our new font asset. And we can go back to our TextMeshPro object, and now we can drag and drop that font asset in, and there it is. And if we zoom in the scene view, it's crisp. Like, it's never really getting that pixelated. Like, if you zoom in super far, you'll see a little bit of pixelation, but it's way better. It's not blurry at all. You have a ton of extra settings in TextMeshPro. You can do rich text formatting. Just Google that. There's special tags that you can add in there to bold and italicize things. If you have a font family, you can do different styles on things. You can change the color. You can adjust the spacing of the characters, the words, the lines. So if you have a bunch of extra stuff in here, you can adjust the line spacing, which is really handy if you're doing like a dialogue system and you want to fine tune how that shows up. You can adjust the wrapping and overflow. You can add margins to things. So like if I add some left margin, you can see that the width and dimensions of the text object and the game object inside of Unity is that, but then you're still adding some padding on the side, which is really handy. So you can have things fit certain spaces and just add that margin in, and you don't have to have a bunch of extra game objects in there. You also have a bunch of different shader settings. So like if you want to add an outline to things, you can do that. You can add an underlay. You can do like all sorts of crazy stuff. You can add lighting information, bevel, emboss, glow. You just have way more options with TextMeshPro. If you're making a game, I wouldn't even touch the built-in Unity text system. Just use TextMeshPro. It's basically built in at this point. You can even right-click. They even give you the option to do buttons with it, drop-downs, input fields. TextMeshPro is pretty much the first thing that I import into a project, and you need to use it if you aren't already. I hope you guys liked this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything more you want to hear about TextMeshPro, and I'll make another video for you. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.